On Global TV News Express, Tinubu signs North Central Development Commission bill into law. In business, federal government strengthens fiscal management with revised cash policy. On the foreign scene, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to meet Trump as Israel-Hamas eye Gaza truce talks. And in sports, Lobby Stars open newly adopted home with 1-0 loss to Eyimba. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Express on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Queen Agaba. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and free to air on Nigecomsat. President Bola Tinubu has signed into law the bill establishing the North Central Development Commission, NCDC. President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, announced the signing of the bill during a session in the Senate chamber, stating that the President has also assented to North Central Development Commission Establishment Bill 2024 in order to bring development to the grassroots. The federal government has unveiled the National Broadband Alliance, a new initiative aimed at transforming the nation's digital infrastructure and boosting connectivity across the country. The initiative was unveiled in Lagos by the Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, who was represented by the Executive Vice Chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission, Aminu Maida. In his address, Tijani stated that National Broadband Alliance would significantly enhance broadband penetration, which has grown from just 6% in 2015 to approximately 42% as of October 2024. Court has acquitted Fani Kayode of forgery case. The Special Offences Court sitting in Ikeja, Lagos, acquitted and discharged the former Minister of Aviation, Femi Fani Kayode, of medical forgery charges brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Justice Olubunmi Abike Fadipe, while delivering a ruling on the no-case submission filed by Fani Kayode's counsel, held that the prosecution failed to establish a prima facie case against him. As a result, the court ruled that the former minister had no case to answer regarding the allegations. The Executive Secretary of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, Architect Sonny Echonu, has commended President Bola Tinubu for recognizing technical and vocational education and training, also called TVET, as the major pathway to create jobs in the country. The Executive Secretary made the statement during the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding between TET Fund and the Nigerian Academy of Engineering at the TET Fund headquarters in Abuja. President, Nigerian Academy of Engineering, Engineer Ramon Bello, in a remark said the event is historic and marks the beginning of bringing together all agencies and professional bodies that are pivotal in assisting the government on entrenchment of technical and vocational engineering education and training activities.
The federal government of Nigeria has commenced the process of reawakening this through a recent launch of the National Skills Qualification Framework, NSQF, and the inclusion of the National Skill Qualification Levels 1 to 6 into the scheme of the services of Nigeria in Nigeria. A lot of support is required by all concerned to maintain and or increase the tempo through realigning and cooperating like we are doing today to chart appropriate stage-by-stage requirements for the objectives to realize and keeping both the governments at the federal and subnational levels on their toes, on their roles.
The success of any government and constituted authority can only be fulfilled if subordinates align themselves with the vision and aspirations of the leadership. This is the call at the special Thanksgiving Mass organized by Mother Benue State Governor Mama Martina Alia for all appointees under Governor Hyacinth Alia's administration, held at the Chapel of Grace Government House, Makurdi. Correspondent Felicity Ndere was there and now reports.
Of the governor noted that the Thanksgiving Mass is a gesture of profound gratitude to God for his continued guidance and protection for all appointees in the administration of Governor Alia for their tireless dedication to the progress and development of the state. The special event is also to appreciate God's mercy in sparing the life of the principal private secretary to the governor, Dr. Emmanuel Chingi, for surviving a domestic accident. In line with the Holy Scriptures, which urge Christians to offer a sacrifice of thanksgiving and fulfill their vows to the Most High, the family gathered to give thanks.
Working together, understanding his vision, and doing what he wants you to do for the benefit of the people of Benue is very important. But another important element is the interministerial cooperation. There must be cooperation among the appointees.
Some speakers and representatives of groups in their remarks appreciated the governor's mother for seeking God's presence in her son's administration. Governor Hyacinth Alia in his remarks stated that the state has over the years gone through so much, stressing the need to examine the progress made by the state and called on everyone to recommit and rededicate themselves as ambassadors of the state. The governor noted that his administration will continue to be guided by the principles of rules, processes, and procedures, and thanked his appointees for understanding his unquenchable stance for good governance, insisting that good governance must be demystified to make things work better.
The import of this Thanksgiving, even to me, demonstrates the fact that there's so much more we can do for the state. If all of us are committed, if all of us are rededicated and recommit ourselves, to fostering Benue forward and for projecting the ideologies that promote the growth and prosperity of the state, that would be a huge, tremendous difference. There's so much we can do to add value to our state.
There were presentation of a souvenir to the mother of the governor for remembering those serving under her son as the governor of Benue State. From the Chapel of Grace at Benue State Government House, Makurdi, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global TV News.
The Nigerian Police Force, in a series of operations across the country in January, has arrested 237 armed robbery suspects, 162 kidnapping suspects, 240 murder and homicide suspects, 53 individuals for unlawful possession of prohibited firearms, 130 rape suspects, and 123 suspected cultists. During a press briefing in Abuja, the Force Public Relations Officer ACP Olumuyiwa Adejobi highlighted key achievements, particularly those of the Federal Intelligence Department and Intelligence Response Team. Kikelamo Okere has more.
The Force Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Adejobi announced the arrest of an 8-member gun-running syndicate, including Joseph Tara, Victor Ali, Abua Yusuf, Bako Isa, Salamatu Ilia, Solomon Gabriele, Musa Arene, and Beatrice Chong. Investigation reveals that Salamatu Ilia had sold 900 rounds of AK-47 ammunition to Bako Isa, who later sold 700 rounds to Victor Pam. In another operation, Amos Sunday Gang was arrested for illegal possession of firearms. He claimed to have found a pistol hidden in the cushion of an apartment he rented in Congo, Russia, Jos, Plateau State in 2021, but failed to report or surrender the weapon.
Recovery of 172 various firearms, 3,134 ammunition of various calibers. The force was also able to recover 115 stolen vehicles and rescue 387 victims of kidnapping.
He said he was kidnapped twice. That was his reason to harm himself with AK-47.
To harm himself with AK-47 rifle. Okay, who?
Said since he got the rifle, that kidnappers have not visited him since.
Who told?
I'm arrested because I gave Banku Isa ammunition to sell.
You gave him ammunition to sell for you?
Yes, sir.
Now that you have been arrested,
yes, sir.
What message do you have to tell other women like you? I don't want us to interrogate you so much.
Okay.
As a woman, as a mother. You have children?
Yes, sir.
How many children do you have?
One daughter.
One daughter?
Yes, sir.
Another girl?
Yes,
so
sir.
What message do you have for women like you?
I regret this thing, honestly.
ACP Adejobi reaffirmed the Nigerian police commitment to protecting lives and properties, assuring that effort to combat crime will continue relentlessly.
The IGP has given us the marching order that in our action plan, drawn or designed, we have intention of reducing crime in Nigeria by 50% the first quarter of this year. And this is achievable with your support, with the cooperation of everybody, every sector of our community, of our society. We can do it. It's our target, and we are moving towards achieving this goal.
Exhibits displayed during the briefing include a locally made pistol, a semi-automatic pistol, 2 rounds of 7.88 mm live ammunition, an AK-47 rifle, 8 fabricated AK-47 rifle, 4 fabricated revolver guns, 3 fabricated semi-automatic pistol, 2 AK-47 magazine, and 1,121 rounds of live AK-47 ammunition. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.
7 years after the alleged displacement of over 200,000 Bassa indigenes by the Igbura ethnic group in the Toto local government area of Nasarawa State, the natives are set to return to their ancestral homes on February 10th. The acting chairman of Bassa Youth for Peace Coalition Forum, Joshua Gomina, disclosed this while speaking with journalists. The development followed several peace meetings organized by the state government and heads of security agencies in the state. Kebbi State Government has announced the rescheduling of the 61st Agungu International Fishing and Cultural Festival to 2026. Speaking at a press briefing, the Deputy Governor of Kebbi State and Chairman of the festival's main committee, Senator Umar Agungu, stated that the decision was reached after consultations with the Agungu Emirate Council. He explained that the rescheduling was necessary to facilitate comprehensive renovation works on the festival venues, ensuring they meet modern standards and are structurally sound. The Federal High Court in Abuja has ordered the Independent National Electoral Commission to pay 1.12 billion naira in compensation to the family of Mike Madu, killed by an INEC driver in Imo State. Justice Inyang Ekwo, in a judgment, ordered the commission to pay the damages with 10% interest per annum from the date of judgment until the final or full payment is made. In addition, the judge ordered INEC, its chairman, Professor Yakubu Mahmood, and other defendants to send a letter of condolence to the late Madu's family. Ogun State Police Command arraigned the suspended Olorile of Orile 4, Semiu Adewale Ogunjobi, for assaulting a 73-year-old chief, Abraham Areola. Ogunjobi was arraigned on 3 counts bordering on conspiracy, assault, and conduct likely to cause breach of peace. The Nigerian Police Force spokesman Olumuyiwa Adejobi confirmed this in a statement. Government Francis Nwifuru of Ebonyi State has urged the people of Amagu village in Kalaha Ishielu local government area of the state to remain calm after a suspected gunmen's attack. Nwifuru made the plea in a statement by his chief press secretary, Monday Uzo, in Abakaliki. The governor, while condemning the attack, described it as a flagrant disregard to the sanctity of human life. It was reported that the attack led to the death of 10 persons and destruction of houses and other property worth millions of naira. You're watching the live broadcast of News Express on Global Television, coming to you from the nation's capital, Abuja. When News Express returns, China retaliates in trade war, imposes tariffs on U.S. energy and autos. We'll bring details of this as well as foreign and sports stories right after the break. Please stay with us. Many thanks for staying with us. In business, the Nigerian Labour Congress has suspended its planned nationwide protest against the recent 50% hike in telecom tariffs approved by the federal government. The Labour Union aborted the planned rally scheduled for Tuesday following a meeting with government representatives at the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation in Abuja. The telecom regulator, the Nigerian Communications Commission, had defended the 50% tariff increase, citing rising operational costs driven by inflation, foreign exchange fluctuations, and higher energy expenses. Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, has emphasized the significance of Nasarawa State in advancing the nation's mining sector. Speaking while receiving Nasarawa State Governor Abdullahi Sule and Minister of Defense Abubakar Badaru in his office, Alake affirmed that Nasarawa has been a formidable partner in harnessing the state's vast minerals potential for national development. Kike Lomo Okere has details.
Speaking at the event, the Minister of Solid Minerals, Dele Alake, says the collaboration is to scale up mining activities in the state, noting that the reform and efforts to promote the mining sector over the last 17 months have begun to bear fruit, with global players increasingly expressing interest in Nigeria's mining industry.
Nasarawa State is really very pivotal to our mineral development in Nigeria, simply because of the endowment. Lithium, for instance, is quite massive in Nasarawa State. So it's like a theater or epicenter of mining in Nigeria.
Nasarawa State Governor Sule Abdullahi commended Dr. Alake for effectively driving President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's agenda on mining development. He acknowledged some challenges such as insecurity, which persist in some areas, prompting the need for further collaboration with the Minister of Defense, while revealing that lithium factories in the state are operating optimally with additional factories under construction, highlighting the imperative of ongoing collaboration with the private sector to strengthen the mining value chain in the state.
All areas of mining, attention is on Nigeria, whether it is lithium, titanium, tantalite, cobalt, and the rest of that. One of the challenges that we continue to have in the area of mining is also security. There is no way you can be having mining activity and everything goes smooth without some sense of security challenges. So the essence of this is for us to put heads together, and to see what we can contribute.
The Minister of Defense, Abubakar Badaru, reiterated the federal government's commitment to eradicating banditry and other criminal activities nationwide, stressing that efforts have already led to the resumption of mining exploration activities in Zamfara State.
What we have been doing, the bandits are now on the run, but the military will not rest on their oars until we end this thing. And the President has given us marching order to end insecurity in every part of our country by end of this year.
The minister also noted that the National Security Advisor, the Chief of Defense Staff are on the team, working round the clock to actualize the target. Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to sound fiscal management and economic sustainability by implementing the revised cash management policy and bottom-up cash planning protocols. A press statement by the Director of Information and Public Relations at the Federal Ministry of Finance, Mohammed Manga, says the Minister of State for Finance, Dr. Doris Uzoka Nite, made this known at the stakeholders review meeting on implementing the policy in Abuja. The indefinite strike by staff of the Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company entered its second day on Tuesday, with the National Union of Electricity Employees insisting that management must withdraw the disengagement letters issued to 900 workers. It was reported that operations at the company have been paralyzed as workers protest the mass sack alongside other grievances, including non-payment of outstanding pensions of retirees, inadequate work tools, lack of promotions for deserving staff, and non-implementation of the 2024 minimum wage. Chairman of the union, Kaduna State Council, Comrade Sheyin Wakili, clarified that it is not against the layoffs themselves, but opposed the manner in which they were executed without settling the entitlement of the affected workers. Beyond the shores of Nigeria, Asian equities rose with the Mexican peso and Canadian dollar after Donald Trump says he will delay the imposition of stiff tariffs on imports from the U.S. neighbors, suiting trade war worries for now. Tokyo, Seoul, Manila, Sydney, Mumbai, Bangkok, Wellington and Taipei were also in the green. Sydney and Singapore edged down. However, early euphoria was tempered somewhat after China announced levies on some imports of U.S. goods as Washington's measures kicked in, with no news that the two sides had reached an agreement to pause. China says it would impose tariffs on imports of U.S. energy vehicles and equipment, firing a return salvo in an escalating trade war between the world's two biggest economies. U.S. President Donald Trump on Saturday announced sweeping measures against major trade partners Canada and Mexico, with goods from China hit with an additional 10% tariff on top of the duties they already endure. Minutes after they came into effect, Beijing unveiled levies of 15% on imports of coal and liquefied natural gas from the United States. At the same time, crude oil, agricultural machinery, big engine vehicles and pickup trucks face 10% duties. In sports now, Lobby Stars, who recently migrated from Lafayette Township Stadium to Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Stadium, Bauchi, opened their newly adopted home ground with a 0-1 loss to Eyimba. For close to 3 years now, Lobby Stars have continued to move from one place to another in search of an alternative home ground following the prolonged renovation work on their traditional home ground, their Parakou Stadium, Makurdi. Unfortunately, the Benue State government and the contractor Moni Mitchell Sport Facility Construction Company continue to trade blames over the slow pace of renovation work on the stadium. Lobby Stars have remained homeless. As we end the Global TV News Express, let's take a look at some of our top stories. Courts acquit Fani Kayode of forgery case. The Special Offences Court sitting in Ikeja, Lagos, acquitted and discharged a former Minister of Aviation, Femi Fani Kayode, of medical forgery charges brought against him by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. In business, the federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to sound fiscal management and economic sustainability by implementing the revised cash management policy and bottom-up cash planning protocols. On the foreign scene, Benjamin Netanyahu is set to meet President Donald Trump, and Israel and Hamas say they're ready for negotiations on a new phase in their fragile Gaza ceasefire. And in sports, we told you Lobby Stars, who recently migrated from Lafayette Township Stadium to Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Stadium, Bauchi, opened their newly adopted home ground with a 0-1 loss to Eyimba. And that's it on Global Television News Express. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365, on Star Times channel 276, and free to air on Nightcomsat. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using @Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I'm Queen Agaba. Thank you for watching and see you again.